All right, here we go. So thank you all for attending today's IEP meeting. I am Mrs. Boland, Janet's special education teacher. This is our administrator, Ms. Amanda Buchanan.
Hello.
Janet's ELA teacher, Mrs. Amanda Horton. And
Hi.
Janet's foster mom, Ms. Pamela Curtis. I appreciate all of you for coming here today and putting Janet's needs focusing on Janet's needs for us for her next school year. Mrs. Buchanan, I'm going to ask if you will take notes for us as well, be our note taker today during the meeting.
Yes, I can. I also would like to thank Miss Pamela for being Janet's foster parents and offering her a supportive and structured home environment for Janet.
Yes, we appreciate your role in her life very much, and we appreciate your concern about Janet here today. So I've given each of you a draft copy of our proposed IEP. Ms. Curtis, I sent a copy of your parents' rights home with you with your notice of proposed meeting. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful. Now, Ms. Curtis, at any time, if you have a question as we are working through this IEP draft, please let us know, please ask, and we will stop and discuss. Okay, all right, so our IEP today is about Janet. Her date of birth is February 1st, 2005. This is for the school year 2023 to 2024, and she will be in 5th grade. The IEP duration dates begin on August the 9th, 2023, which is the first day of school, and we'll go through May the 22nd, 2024, which is the end of our school calendar. She will not receive extended school year services. Those are not needed for her. Now, the strengths for Janet, we're looking here at the first page. It says Janet's strength in reading is in identification and use of synonyms. Janet's a sweet child with no behavioral problems. She enjoys reading to the class dog when he visits their classroom twice a week. And Janet also has a beautiful singing voice, according to her teachers. As her gen ed teacher, her English teacher, Miss Amanda, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
I would just like to say that Janet is such a joy to have in the classroom, and she is such a gifted and talented singer. And I noticed she has a knack for fashion and design and an eye, and we are so glad to have her in class.
Awesome. Now, when you look at the parental concerns, I've listed that Janet's caseworker and her foster mother, you, are involved in her education, and you both wish for Janet to succeed. Do you have any other things you'd like for me to list there, possible concerns that you have for Janet?
Just maybe her interaction with other students.
Okay, all right. And we do have a little bit about that, just a little lower in the IEP. And I'll just kind of look at that real quick. I know that some teachers were concerned about maybe her not making eye contact as often as they'd like. So we'll look at that in just a moment. Janet's preferences or interests. She enjoys drawing, art, and as we already mentioned, singing. And she also enjoys looking at fashion magazines. The results of Janet's most recent evaluations tell us that she completed the Woodcock-Johnson Mastery Test of Reading with a total reading score of 1.7 grade level equivalent. There were a couple of subcategories for this. All of these that are listed are English language arts related. Her word identification is 1st grade 2nd month. Her word attack is 1st grade 4th month. Her word comprehension is 1st grade 8th month. She can identify synonyms on a 2nd grade 2nd month level. I think I said synonyms, I apologize. Antonyms on a 2nd grade 2nd month level, synonyms on a 2nd grade 4th month level, and analogies on a 1st grade 4th month level. And her passage comprehension is a 1st grade 4th month level. Do you have any questions about that? I know that's a lot of information, a lot of numbers to throw at you, Ms. Curtis, all at once, but do you kind of understand that data?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll go on down to the next section. It says the academic, developmental, and functional needs of the student. And it lists here that Janet's difficulties in reading, we understand if she's reading at a 1st grade level, that she will be experiencing some significant difficulties in her class. It says her difficulties in reading have a negative impact on her class performance. She continues to struggle with decoding words, blends, and identifying frequently used sight words. Janet's disability affects her participation in classroom group activities, and she doesn't always make eye contact with others. I'm going to come back to her ELA teacher here and see if you have any other concerns that we might want to address, or just explanations for her foster mom.
We just noticed, like in group activities, it seems that her deficiencies in reading are causing more stress on Janet than we would like. And I feel that if we can get this remediated, it can help her, make better contact with her peers.
All right, I will look at the other section at the very bottom of the page. It says that Janet, as you are her foster mother, it says that her parents and grandparents may have limited English proficiency. This was told to us by the caseworker. Her native language is unknown, so there may be some issues there with language barrier as well, and we'll figure that out as we go. If we see that there are some continuing issues with that, there may be referrals that need to be made later on in this school year. With our EL program. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the page. We're going to go to the next section, which is special instructional factors. Janet does not have behavior which impedes her learning or the learning of others. Janet does not need a behavioral intervention plan. At this time, we do not think that Janet has limited English proficiency, but again, if we tend to see some things as we go through this school year, we may revisit that. She does not need instruction in Braille or use of Braille. She has no communication needs. She does not need assistive technology devices in our services. She does not require specially designed PE. She is not working toward the alternate achievement assessment. She will not take the Alabama alternate assessment. She will take the ACAP along with all of her peers. And she does not require any transition services addressed in the IEP. Do you have any questions about that? Okay. You guys live close to school, and she either rides in the car with you or walks to school. Is that correct? Okay, awesome. Down below, she does have the opportunity to participate in non-academic extracurricular activities with her non-disabled peers. She will get an annual goal progress report that will be sent home to you with each time report cards are issued, and we send those home every 9 weeks. The next section, if you'll look at that draft, has a transition page. This transition will occur when she moves from 8th grade to 9th grade to the high school. And so we won't worry about that transition at this school year, but we will address those needs when they occur, when she gets a little older. If you'll turn to the page that says Individualized Education Program, it has Janet's name at the top. It will tell you the 2 goals that we have in reading for Janet for this school year. And the present level of academic achievement and functional performance. I'm going to go over a few of the pieces of data that I shared with you earlier. I'm going to go over those again right here, and then we'll talk about what our goals are to try to get Janet to the level we'd like for her to in this next school year. So according to the Woodcock-Johnson Mastery Test of Reading, Janet has a reading level of 1.7. She struggles with word identification and reading comprehension. Janet's deficits in reading affect her participation in age-appropriate activities because she's hesitant to work with others in groups. And Janet doesn't want to read aloud in class. Your teacher mentioned this just a few minutes ago, Miss Amanda, about the time that when she does work in groups, she is more anxious, and we don't want that for Janet. So we have set up a goal that we would like to use to help Janet meet these needs. And by the end of the school year, Janet will be able to read 2nd grade texts, ELA 5.9.2, and she will comprehend them with 75% accuracy. We're going to use work samples from the teachers to be able to make sure that she's reading on a 2nd grade level. So we want to help with her comprehension with this goal. Do you have any questions about that? Okay, the second goal that we have also is related to reading. The same information I shared with you just a moment ago is the same information I have here. Janet's deficits in reading affect her participation in age-appropriate activities because she is hesitant to work with others in groups, and she doesn't want to read aloud. The second measurable annual goal is related to her need by saying that we are going to work to have Janet be able to reproduce appropriate turn-taking skills in conversation. This is ELA 5.32.7, 80% of the time by the end of this school year. We're going to use teacher observations as our primary mode of evaluation for this. And we really hope that with support from Janet's ELA teacher and her other gen ed teachers, that she will be more confident in being able to articulate how she feels about something when they're working in small groups. Do you have any questions or concerns about this? Okay. Let's go on and look at the special education and related services that Janet will receive through our special education program. I will collaborate with teachers to monitor grades, completion of work, progress toward goals, and ensuring that instructions and accommodations are meeting Janet's needs. I'll meet with her teachers weekly, approximately 15 minutes per week. That may take place in the resource room or in the school hallway out beside it. Also, I will provide small group instruction to remediate deficit skills and reinforce what is taught in the general education classroom to ensure mastery of reading goals. Since Janet's deficit is several grade levels below where she's at, we do want to pull her to the resource room weekly for about 200 minutes and work on those specific skills that she needs help with. So we'll do that as well. As far as her supplementary aids and services go, the student should receive extended time to complete assignments, reduce answer choices, have a peer tutor, give the student the option to have passages read, reduce workload at the discretion of the special education teacher and her general ed teacher, and utilize computer-based programs aligned with the Alabama state standards to meet her deficits. This will be done daily during our school year, and the location of services may be in her gen ed classroom with her teachers or in the resource room with me. Do you have any questions about those aids and services?
You said that she'll get 200 minutes per week. Does that mean that she'll be pulled daily or?
Yes, we actually have a 7th period class in our built into our schedule where the students come to the resource room for about, it's a class period of time, and we work on those individual skills. So I'll leave her in her gen ed classroom for her instruction, and then she'll come to me at the end of the day and we will review, reinforce, and then go back to those deficit skills and work on those. So she will see me every day.
Right.
Okay. All right, let's look on at the next thing. It talks about program modifications. We don't have any program modification needs, but we do have some accommodation needs for assessments. So when Janet takes her test, they'll be taken first in her gen ed classroom with extended time, reduced answer choices, and she will be given the option to have passages read. If she fails that test, she'll be allowed to be retested in the special education classroom with the test read aloud by me. That will occur daily as often as the teachers need that for me to help with any type of retesting. This will occur in the general education classroom or the resource room. Do you have any questions about accommodations for her testing? Okay, wonderful. All right, she does not need any assistive technology, and we do not need any support personnel at this time. So we'll go to the last page where we have our list of the last few things that we want to discuss. The least restrictive environment. Janet attends the same school that she would and participates in that environment that she would attend if she was non-disabled. And she will receive her special education services with her non-disabled peers. I will go into the classroom. I will be a support in her ELA classroom, and many times you may even see me in her math and science classrooms as well, but I will be there as offering support so that I know what's going on in the classroom with the lessons, and then I can reinforce and reteach when she gets in the resource room with me. You will be receiving a copy of the IEP and in a few minutes after we all sign this, and you also receive that copy of your special education rights for this meeting. If at any point in this school year Ms. Curtis, if you have a concern, please contact me. I'll give you a card with my email address as well as my phone number. You can also call the school and they can get in touch with me, because I'm here for Janet. I want Janet to be as successful as possible, and we want to see her reach all of her goals and succeed in this school year. Do you have any other questions or concerns for any of us?
No, just, if you will, just reach out if she's ever seems like she's really struggling or bothered, or if she's just not really putting a good forth effort, I would really like to be, contacted so she doesn't get too far behind.
Okay, and we will make sure that we do that. Any other things that you would like to say before we close out our meeting today?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all so much for being in attendance today, and we will make sure we sign all of our paperwork, and then we'll let you go today. Thank you so much.